Hello, Veggie Owl Girl here. I got some bad news from my dog, but the place I go to is so expensive. Now, you can see her over there. If you hear snoring, that's her. Molly has some cancer on her, so we're going to try to work it out with I'm working with another veterinarian who is cheaper than what I have. They like to overcharge the place I'm at, but anyway, she's 13 years old, and like I said, she should. Well, if hopefully she'll be able to do the anesthesia and all that, but she's come through surgery before. Okay, so let's hope on the mall. Yes, Molly, I love you. Now I'm also going to be doing. I want to talk a little bit about climate change and war and all that. So the most of you are probably well aware that Ukraine produces between Ukraine and Russia actually produces one third of the world's wheat. Uh, And I also remember when something about when they grew wheat, you grow barley along with it. So if the wheat crop failed, you still had barley. So was it barley or rye? Rye, actually. So you plant rye with the wheat, and if the wheat doesn't make it, you still have the rye. I was reading the wiki pages on those different types of grains, different nutritional profiles and all that. Yeah, I'm a cooking geek. I like to do stuff like that. Proof bread. That's a good video to look at. It just says proof. I think it's just proof or proof bread. So he basically tells you how they do baking. So that's very important. Now back to Russia and Ukraine. Russia also provides a large amount of the world's fertilizer. So most of our crops need a lot of fertilizer because we don't do composting and put stuff back into the soil. Some people are. There's also, I think it's called hydroponic growing as well. But like I said, the where was I at? Growing, yes. So fertilizer. So the that is going to make the crops not as productive. The Oh, by the way, the from what I heard, the inflation we have may be around for another 2 years. Most people are not buying the same as much or even the same thing because it's so expensive. And that's Molly snoring back there. I took her for a very long walk, extremely long walk, and she's happy. See how happy she is just laying there? I got the AC on, don't worry. So like I said, okay, so fertilizer. Also, there is a aquifer underneath where I used to live in northeastern Kansas, northern Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota. I don't know if it went up into North Dakota, but aquifers take millions of years to fill up, and it's almost dry. The In the Colorado River, the Bureau of Land Management has told these guys, these states, pardon me, who use the river. If you heard of Lake Mead, you're like, well, they're finding other. I ain't gonna say it because the kids are probably watching too. But they're finding stuff because of water levels going down. So the Bureau of Land Management told them they have a treaty. It's kind of like a treaty or an agreement between the states who gets how much water. The Bureau of Land Management said basically you have to reduce the amount of water. Basically, it's basically there has a certain measurement. I think it was Nevada, could have been Arizona, but basically let's say Arizona, state's total water requirement, one state's total water, you have to cut that much out. And there's little bugs here. I have bananas. So you have to cut that amount of water out. So it's getting low, and water may be a very valuable commodity later. I don't believe water should be a commodity. I just believe that everybody should have access to clean drinking water, stuff like that. Because now I live northeast, so we have the Great Lakes, like I said. But sometimes you probably heard. Now I don't live in New York City, but New York City had a hurricane come through and flood the subways. I will probably try the subway sooner or later if I go down there. I haven't been there yet. That's kind of weird. But Niagara Falls also is very beautiful, nice and all that. wonderful. You think it would be before I went there, I was like, oh, it must have lots of trees around it. It'll be nature. No, basically it's built up and it's a tourist track. So, but and you. Oh, by the way, bring $25 for parking because they have how do you say parking for people who go to visit, but that fills up real quick. So they have parking $25. I'm like, I guess I'm spending $25. But the thing is, like I said, with water, the half of the United States from roughly, let's say Western Kansas, middle of Eastern Kansas to maybe a little bit over west is drought. California, 1/3 of our vegetables and a large amount of our fruits and nuts come from California. There was a snowstorm or a hail in Mexico, not New Mexico, Mexico, in June. They had wintry weather down there in June. Now I don't know about how much that damage that would have done to the crops. We do import stuff up there from Mexico, mainly avocados. Everybody thinks of Mexico and they think of avocados. I don't think we're importing avocados anymore because somebody made a threat to a U.S. Again, I guess he would be a federal worker because of he keeps an eye on the avocados or something. But anyway, they made a threat to him, and they're like, United States is like, well, I guess we're not taking your avocados anymore because it's too dangerous. But like I said, that might have, I don't know what particular food crops would be damaged, but by wintry weather in June, if there's plants that flower around that time, and then you get the fruit, and if there was snow and hail and all that, I guess those flowers would not mature. And you have the flower, you have the flower, you have the stamens, and then you have the pistil, and the bees and all that will go in and they will collect pollen from the stamens, and while they're doing it, some of the pollen will fall onto the pistil, and that would go down, and then the ovum of the plant, which is basically going to be the fruit, grows up and all that, and you have fruit. Also, don't you get me started on bees either. Oh, God Almighty! I wanted to raise bees where I'm at. I live in an apartment building. I said, we have bees? We're going to do a community garden. But the guy who was supposed to tell us all about it, he said, yeah, sure. And then we haven't seen him since. So I'm asking about bees too. There's a insurance issue, maybe, but bees, we don't see bees anymore. When I was a kid, they were everywhere. But anyway, like I said, so let's see. So in Mexico, we might not be getting as much produce from Mexico. Let's see. Here in New York State, which is where I live in the state, a bag of apples is $5, $6 for a bag of apples. We grow them here. Now, there's a crabapple tree near where I live. It's just over, let's see, where is it? Back that way. So, but it grew tiny little, and then poof, came down. So we do have some crab apples in the other trees. Now they're very sour. So they're edible, but they're extremely sour. So I'm going to have to come up with a recipe for that. Because now 2045 is, let's see, quite a bit. I will still be alive, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, it's 2022, 2045, 25, 35, 45, 20, a little over 20 years. And the world population will be 9.2 billion, and we will have half the amount of food. We will have the amount of food we have now that's growing, cut it in half, and that's how much the world's going to have. So one of the things I'm doing is trying to figure out how to cook with anything. Anything I can find, anything I can think of. Like I had 2 bell peppers, a red and yellow. Let me see. I put them under the broiler. That's a broiler setting on my stove. I broiled the chickens, and then by the way, you take them. They're dark. They're broiled and they're all charred, all that. Put them in a paper bag, and then let them steam in the bag, and then you can take the skin off. And then I cooked them in some water. I pureed them. I added too much nutmeg. Let's see what I put in there. So let's see, nutmeg, a few other spices. I can't remember, but the nutmeg was too much. But so I was actually I cooked it. I think in also I used rice milk. So I pour the rice milk in there to taste it. Just take don't use the same spoon. Just not good. In the sink. But how do you say lemon juice? I was like, well, let's see if lemon juice smells it out, which it did. So I brought that to the place where I volunteer at. I was like, okay, guys, we're gonna eat the rest of this, and they liked it. It's good. Like I said, nutmeg is very powerful spice. You only need a tiny bit. I think I added cinnamon too, but we had to like, boop, boop. I was like nutmeg. Okay, that worked. I usually don't do too many measurements. Uh, But I was doing looking at ratios. Let's see, 5 cups of flour to 3 cups of water for a dough. So I'm going to look into ratios as well. Like I said, the problem is with climate change. A lot of places there's going to be a lot. The water is the main thing. You have droughts. There's actually something called Mormon crickets. I'm not sure they're in the United States somewhere. They're actually eating up everything. So it's like, hey, biblical proportions. But anyway, I was like, okay, there's the hordes of the crickets, but they're not crickets. I can't remember what they actually technically are, but that's what they were called because when the Mormons were coming in that direction, they had problems with that, so they called them Mormon crickets. And this is me babbling around, but oh yes, I will also be helping out at the place I volunteer at. Eastern Farm Workers Association. So if you see in the description, or not description, but in the headline, in the title, it says EFWA. That's going to be, like I said, anybody can watch them because now we're going to try to do. It's a big thing to get a nutritionist and all that. Coming in, I woke her. Coming in and talking about the benefits of particular vegetables that I will be preparing. I found out you can have zucchini cake, zucchini chocolate cake. Oh, I'm gonna try it. I really shouldn't, but I'll make it and I'll bring it to the office. Like, okay, guys, here you go. I'm trying not to eat too much sweets. Oh yeah, I learned to make my own oat milk. Let's see, it was 3 cups of water to half a cup of oats. Puree them in a blender on high. My blender is the Ninja. Ninja blenders are good. If you have to invest in any equipment, get a Ninja. If you have money for a Vitamix, oh Lord, I feel jealous. But yeah, Vitamix is the best, but they're $500 some odd dollars. They're very expensive. Ninja's $99. Target, Walmart, yeah, get a Ninja. That's a lot of money you think, but I make my flour with it. I made black bean flour with it. I just toasted the black beans until they were fragrant. Put them in, just dry meat. They smell fragrant. Pull them out. Put them in the blender, and I simply blended it into a flour. And then I sifted it, and whatever's left over, you could probably toss back into the picture, and blend it some more. And there was black bean flour. And I made oat flour too, because one of the recipes called for oat flour. I'm like, okay, I'll make it. I'm thinking about now when you make oat milk, you're going to pour so 3 cups of water, half a cup of oats, blend for 30 seconds, no more. You don't need don't blend, just 30 seconds. Take it out, pour it through a sieve. You've seen those sieves, it looks like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a screen door. The thing it looks like a screen door when you're going through, when you look out. That particular thing. Yeah, use that, and then don't push it through. Just pour it in. Now I add sugar. I did not add maple syrup or vanilla. Let's see. I think it's 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and maybe I think a half a teaspoon of vanilla. You might want to add a little bit first and then adjust if you want to drink it. You blend all that together, pour it through a sieve, And then I'm gonna figure out what to do with the rest of that oat pulp. What I can do with it. Maybe mix it with chia seeds. I'll figure something out. We're gonna have to know. There's gonna be no waste in this kitchen here. So anyway, so yes, so I made that, and I made vegan mac and cheese with it. Because I have no oat milk. Things are getting expensive. If I can make my own, and I didn't have rice milk either. I didn't have any plant-based milk. So I was like, how do I make the vac? Oh, I could make my own oat milk because I have oat milk. Um, Oatmeal is very cheap. I mean, not expensive. It's cheap as hell. Buy oatmeal in the morning, very good for you. And you don't have to make it plain. You add the water, you put the oats in, add cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg. Um, yeah, basically for me, cinnamon, nutmeg, some what's the word? Maple syrup, and then you cook it up, and then you have fresh fruit. You're like, okay, here's the bowl. I'm going to put in a slice. You take a plate and slice some bananas, and then you put them in it. Presentation is important. You put them there. You could add cut up strawberries. You might, if you want to add more, if you have wheat germ and you want to add more fiber, wheat germ works in it as well. 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed per day is actually very. I do believe it's tablespoons. Yes, 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed. It could be 2 teaspoons, but I'd have to look it up. But yeah, flaxseed. Let's do 1 tablespoon. Let's leave it at that. That way we don't overdo it. Yeah, flaxseed. You grind it up with your spice grinder. Pour it in. Put it in there, and then let's see. Edible flowers are actually kind of cheap up here. You know, the little thing where you have these spices, the herbs. I mean, herb, and sometimes you might find edible flowers. They make a nice presentation, and they're only like $2. Let's see, bananas, strawberries. Let's see, what other plant? Maybe some blueberries. I'm kind of iffy on the blueberry. I like blueberries when they're sweet, but some of them are pretty watery. You have to figure out which store has. Damn girl, you have to figure out which store has the best blueberries. You want flavorful blueberries. But they are a powerhouse of nutrition. So make sure you get blueberries in your diet, even if you have to buy the frozen stuff. Wild blueberries, frozen wild blueberries. Yeah, you can thaw them out and just put them in there too. Oh yeah, thaw them out and put them in there with the oat milk. So you have strawberries, blueberries, bananas, ground flaxseed. Maybe if you want to add wheat germ. Yeah, wheat germ comes in handy. I'm probably going to make a lentil loaf later. Wheat germ and all that. Just make it pretty. If you want the kids to love it, put some chocolate chips. I use vegan chocolate chips. Enjoy Life. They have chocolate chips that are vegan. So yeah, that would be good. So there, I just told you about how to make oatmeal interesting. Like I said, oat milk. What else? Let's see. Well, like I said, we're going to have to. We're going to have to stop using less, and the price of food is going up. And for anyone who eats meat, I'm like, well, you do know that in a feedlot in Kansas, this happened, I guess a week or so ago. 10,000 head of cattle dropped dead. It was, they had rain, then they had sun and no wind, and it didn't cool down much that night. They basically dropped dead because they are overheated. I think, if I remember correctly from college, the cattle, their best temperature for them is 50 degrees. They're basically living furnaces. They're like a big, gigantic fermentation vat that's digesting all their food. So, and let me see. So there's 10,000 cattle at $2,000 a head. Let's see. So $20,000, and their insurance does not cover heat death. So the price of beef, or whatever you want to call it, let's say price of cow, because that's what it is, basically, a cow or a steer, and no one's going to be able to afford it anyway. And like I said, you can eat much better, much cheaper on a plant-based diet and all that stuff. Let's see. I went to Trader Joe's. Now, also figuring out where to buy some stuff. Trader Joe's, they sell produce by each. You want a eggplant or a butternut squash. Let's see. How about cauliflower? Stuff like that. I bought a bag of, like one of those Walmart bags, small Walmart bags of food. Let's see. I got a melon. I got a melon, 2 eggplants because I'm going to make 2 different dishes with that. Let's see. Eggplant, 2 eggplants, melon, cauliflower, bag of kale, bag of spinach. I got one more thing in there. What is it? Well, I did say cauliflower, so that's probably about it. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff, and it was $15. $15 and some odd cents. If you go in there and you just say, oh, I'm going to buy a big butternut squash, you can buy the bigger one. It'll be the same price than a smaller one. So, yeah, like I said, it's Trader Joe's. Also, Aldi's is very cheap. Sometimes the produce, you're like, dude, you need to replace your produce. You need to clear it out. Let's see. Other places have cheaper produce. I'm not sure about Price Chopper because I went in there and I was looking at a big bag of fresh green beans. I was like, I can make something in that. If you're going to do a green bean casserole, use the French green beans. Anyway, so I looked at it. I was like, oh, $7. I guess I'm not buying that then. So I guess I'm not buying green beans. The price of food's going up majorly. With the 10,000 cattle, they're still dropping dead, by the way. But that one night was pretty deadly. Chickens, there's bird flu. Yes, it basically, if you have bird flu in your flock, you have to kill all your chickens, all of them. Like I said, all those chickens dead because of, so it's sort of like, I guess, similar to hoof and mouth disease. If you find it in your herd, yeah, they're going to have to kill the entire herd. Like I said, not sure about swine right now. But like I said, we don't need to eat the animals. 12 years, no flesh of an animal. Now, why do I say no flesh of an animal? Duh, I don't eat meat. Fish? No fish. No animal product. No, that's vegan. No animal products is vegan. That includes honey, milk, milk, any dairy, basically milk and dairy, eggs, stuff like that. Honey, yeah, I understand that bees are very important. That's why I want some here. I'm willing to go and learn how to be a beekeeper and get a beekeeper suit so that we will have bees in this area. It'll be good for you. And if you don't bother the bees, they won't bother with you. I was eating an ice cream and this bee was licking the ice cream off my finger. And I'm sitting there just talking to my friend Steve, and I'm like, and I just kept talking. I'm like, yeah, I know. She wants the sugary stuff out of my finger. So, like I said, don't swat at them. Don't swat them. If they land on you, you're like, oh, great, whatever. But leave me. They won't sting you. For those who get anaphylactic shock, make sure you have your EpiPens. That's a good thing about being a veteran as well. I have EpiPens. And I'm going to be seeing a allergy specialist out in the community because they don't have that here, so they just sent it out to a specialist. So, and my biology is soy. I'd like to get back to being able to eat soy because soy is, one, it's in everything, and two, it's very versatile. Now, if you can't use soy and you want to use a soy sauce replacement, coconut aminos. It tastes like soy. And like I said, you're just going to have to use that for replacing the things. But anyway, like I said, we're going to be with Russia, Ukraine, the war there. I hope they don't do World War III. And I'm not so necessarily talking about the nuclear war, which when I was a teenager wasn't sure I'd live past 18 anyway because the war would blow up. Yeah, the end of the Cold War was not fun. But like I said, it's like, look, war's not very good anyway, but like I said, the fact that those two countries produce a lot of stuff that has to do with our food and all that. Like I said, massive drought, Mormon crickets, that's probably a small area, but still kind of interesting to talk about. Like I said, flooding in some areas. Yeah, the amount of food we're going to produce is going to go down. and we don't have our soil's not very good because we don't add enrichment like compost into it. Um, like I said, now some places they're like, okay, I make sales, they will grow soybeans, and then they'll till it under because it's a legume. It has these little things on the roots that are nitrogen modules. They fix the nitrogen. Oh yes, right. Lightning also fixes nitrogen into the ground. So that's another interesting point. But anyway, like I said, I think that's it. I actually one little thing. I got a hold of a durian. Now I was trying to find fungreek seeds, and I was walking into a small Asian market. It was packed. It was packed, and yeah, you could tell. I'm like, oh, they had live crabs, fish heads, everything. Uh, Regular fish, different plants. But anyway, I was walking in. Durian. They had durian there. You can smell it. By the way, you've probably heard the phrase, smells like hell, tastes like heaven. Now, this is what you do with the durian. I bought a fresh one, and then Matt got yelled at because I brought durian in there, but he loved it. So, okay, you cut it open. There's going to have some brown seeds, or big brown seeds, kind of flat. And, okay, so it's going to smell quite a bit. And then you're going to taste it. You're going to okay, the first bite, okay. You roll it on your tongue, not bad. Second bite, oh, much better. And then the third bite and beyond, it's like, oh, not only does it taste wonderful, by the way, you're not going to smell it after that. When the third bite hits, you're not smelling it. No more smell. But the good thing about durian, now they're expensive. You can probably get frozen durian. I had the fresh. The fresh frozen will work, but And then later, and then as it's settling into your stomach, you're like, it feels real nice in your stomach. Your stomach's like happy. And you're like, oh, this is so nice. But anyway, I talked for 27 minutes, so I should probably stop the video. But like I said, if you say EFWA, that's basically stuff that I'm doing for. I'm going to do it for everybody anyway. But some of them are going to say EFWA. That's going to be the earlier videos. And then as we get a person who can help with the video editing, you can see I don't really edit my videos. I just sit in front of here and talk, and keep my dog back there. She just snores. But anyway, like I said, the video editing will be better. I generally don't edit because I don't know what to do, and I don't think I have money for editing software. So I probably just use whatever it is here on Microsoft. So anyway, like I said, if you can get some frozen durian, it does smell bad, but like I said, first bite, okay, second bite, third bite and beyond, and then when you're done eating it, you're stuffing yourself with durian, your belly's going to feel nice. It just feels so nice. But anyway, I'm going to let you go. A Veggie Owl Girl out, and like I said, even if it says EFWA, it's still, everybody can watch it. It's going to be for everybody. So, and if it doesn't say EFWA, it's probably just me talking about, like this, whatever I think. God damn, girl. Anyway. This is Veggie Owl Girl signing off. Bye.